Right back. Now we're going to make these yam rolls. I'm taking a recipe that uses potatoes, and because these are potatoes, I should be able to transfer this recipe. And we're not. We're going to put yogurt in these this time. So I'm going to change the recipe around, and we're going to see how it comes out. I still haven't made my salt yet. I got to do that. All right, you're going to need 1 package of dried yeast. Ugh. Jesus Christ. I can get rubber band time. Okay. If you can't get things open, do it the old-fashioned way. Get a rubber band. If this doesn't work, I'm going to bang it on the edge. Okay, I got it. You need 1/3 of a cup, I think it's 1/3 of a cup. Yeah, 1/3 of a cup of warm water. When they say warm, they mean rest. Once you have it set for the rest, they're fine. In other words, you won't feel it. Then it's 98.6, which they love. What we're going to do, they want us to proof this. I hate doing this part. 3 tablespoons of sugar are in there too. You need 4 tablespoons of butter melted. So do put it on a low flame and let it melt without burning it. It'll burn when it becomes brown. Oh, you're going to take off with all this sugar. All right, this goes here. Just making room. That's all I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm throwing things around. Don't you know that's a good thing to do? All right, they want you to proof this to make sure it makes bubbles, but I know it's going to work because I'm real good at making bread. Yam rolls. I'll put... All right, we need 2/3 of a cup of yogurt. Oh, I hate throwing you out that part. Okay, where's my spoon I'm looking for? Okay, a little too much. That's my own yogurt culture. If you try making it from the store-bought, there isn't enough culture in it to whistle Dixie. It might work one time, but second time it won't, just letting you know. Okay? So you're preparing for it. All right, you need 2 eggs. See, I can see my yeast is already proofing in it. Like my mother said, you came out of the chute, Sandy, knowing how to work with bread and yeast. She said, I walk in the room and the yeast starts growing. So my job in the house, in the kitchen, was making breads and rolls. That was my thing. So that's why I'm so proficient at it. And you need 2 teaspoons of salt. But my mother could lay out a buffet. God, was she good. I know I'm using this and I like my other salt better. Remind me. Okay, that's empty. All right. Now on the yams, I just bought a whole bag of yams, and I did it, and I made that sweet potato pie, and the rest of the yams over here. So I figured I'm putting them to work. I'll probably still have more over and try to figure out what I'm going to do with it as well. So as you can see, I did use it. All right, they want 1 whole cup. Now, you do not have to melt your butter completely. When it gets down to little pieces, the rest of the butter is so hot that it's going to sit there and melt it anyway. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this, but I'll think of something. Because see, I don't have much left, but I'll think of something. I might. Why not try potato biscuits? I could use this in place of it. I just don't want to waste. Okay, we got that. So this will be different just all the way around. I'm making yam, I told you, yam rolls. I don't know how they're going to come out. I mean, we're going to figure it out. Like I said, we have basic recipes. To make cornbread, there's a basic biscuits, rolls, breads, cakes. A cake is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's usually what? 1 is the butter, 2 is the sugar, 3 is the flour, 4 are the eggs. That's a very basic cake. So when you make muffins, they have a basic as well. Then you sit there and everything's a basic when it comes down to the baking. Brownies, you have a basic recipe and you can branch out in different directions as well. It just depends. Okay, let's see. Got the eggs, the salt. I know I've got to put the butter in here. Because the butter's hot, only add a little bit and stir so I don't kill my yeast. I'm trying to make yeast right now. It's not a sourdough. It's a different one, like the one you buy in the store. I don't know if it's going to work, and I won't know until tomorrow, Christmas Day. But if it works, we'll be able to make our own yeast, and that will save you money in your pocket. Smells good if nothing else. Okay, now we're going to use about 4 cups of flour. I am going to add a half a cup of whole wheat to this. Make sure I cover for everything. So as I make sure we get these every day, our bodies don't age as much and can keep on repairing. Now, a lot of people say, but I don't like whole wheat. Well, you're getting 100% whole wheat, but you can add some of the flour into what you make, a half a cup or a fourth of a cup. If I make biscuits, I'll put just a couple of tablespoons in of wheat germ. So see, there's different ways you can dance around with it. So I give you ideas. The only thing I'm sorry about is I didn't put in a tablespoon of wheat germ into that beautiful carrot cake that had the prunes and stuff in it, because I had said I was going to do it and I didn't do it. All right. Like people tell me, well, I like to see the white bread, white rice. I like to go in so many different directions. When I found out there were so many grains, I said, oh God, I'm going to be trying them all. I can't even keep them all in the freezer because they're whole grains. I keep them there. So I don't have the room, so I buy different ones and work with them. Like I found out I can make buckwheat noodles. So I said, ooh, I have got to try that. I'll do it with semolina because semolina flour holds things together. I notice when I make pasta, it really holds the pasta together. Two and a half. 3. Okay. Heavy charging as well. Will I ever try making this with sourdough culture? Darn tootin'. Now that I know the secret of changing regular bread into sourdough, you definitely know I'm going to. The sourdough has all those enzymes, microbes, I should say, that sit there and they help break down the food and everything else. One of the most satisfying things that people don't experience is when you move your bowels, you sit there and you sit down and it comes out, just like that, in less than a minute. And you get up and you say, God, you feel empty in the inside because you didn't overload it. You might have to add, I think the yams hold a little more water. If I remember correctly, Idaho's a drier potato, which I usually use. Yeah, I might have to add a little extra flour to this. So never think any one vitamin is going to cure you. You have to take it with other things. And I figured the best way for me to get it into my family is to make sure that everything I make is as nutritious as I can. I know chefs tell you the freshest food, well, but if they end up with cancer and illness and they look old, I'd say, well, it's evident it's not working. You're doing something wrong. The food might taste a certain way that you like it, but it's evidently not helping you. I'll clean you in a minute. Stay there. Hope these come out nice. I mean, I've got so many ideas. I still have cantaloupe butter, and I want to make that into muffins, and we'll see how that comes out. And if it's really good, I'm going to sit there and put it out in all different directions. We'll see what comes with it. So when you get sick or something, or you end up with a medical issue that you have to deal with from a life of abusing the body, understand you can't blame anybody but yourself. You're the one who did it, and now the body's going to make you pay for everything you did to it. I'm adding an extra half a cup. So I think buckwheat noodles would be interesting. I don't know what I'd make with it. I'd like to try it. I tried to make gluten-free pasta. What it did to my machine, I had to replace it. I had to replace a lot of parts. It just broke. And I said, well, the heck with that. That doesn't work. I don't know what I did wrong. Now the yogurt culture I made, I think it's 2 years old. I'm still using it. Once I get it started and I keep it going, it's fine. But sometimes I forget to make it and I have to remake it. Make a whole new culture and start over. I think these are going to be good. Because you know yams have a nice sweetness to themselves, so these rolls will have an underlying slight sweetness to them, which would be quite unusual. So we can make our own yeast. We will not be buying it from the store anymore. I'm going to have sourdough culture. I have an incorn culture. I have to make more again. I used it. And I will have a regular yeast culture that I'll have to take care of that I can make easily. So I think that's a good. You might have to add more flour to this. This is going to take a little extra flour because it says 4 to 4.5 for that recipe, and I put 4.5 in, but now I'm going to have to sprinkle it and see if I can get it working properly where I want it to be. You see, women couldn't waste anything in the house. Whatever peelings or whatever they had, they put into the ground and they would grow more food on top of that. But my thing is I try to get as many nutrients out of it as I can. And I know I don't get it all, but I get more. Okay, I've got to wash my bowl and we'll get this ready. See how nice this is? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So let me move some stuff around again. Shoot, Sandra. Now, what am I having today for dinner? We're just having bacon and eggs in the muffins that I made with a salad, because tomorrow is Christmas and I want to finish up some things today, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'll do the other. Make a simple dinner today. Grease your bowl. Twist it around and turn it over. Make sure it's greased all over so you don't have any dry spots, because this is a different yeast. We have to treat it differently. All right, you cover it, put it in a warm spot, and wait until it doubles in size. Okay, I'm getting my towels. So part two will probably, well, my kitchen's cool right now, so it's going to take a little longer for it to rise, but they usually say an hour. If you're in a warm spot it will, but and then I'll move forward and we'll have part two and the other one. The part three would be just showing you the end product. Oh, I guess so. That's life. Can happiness exist without sadness? There are times when I am very sad. It's just like anger and frustration. These are all emotions, but the thing is not to take it out on anybody. There's no reason to. But if you believe in karma, you would say, oh yeah, there's plenty of reason to, you know. But they can also use that as an excuse. That, yeah, sadness. Yeah, I have days that I'm sad. You don't see it, but I am. I'm very sad. But that's human nature. For all that we have done wrong and every rule that we've ever broken, just a fact of life, young man. There's nothing we can do about it. But you can't be sad all the time and you can't be happy all the time. But be content with yourself. Be the best that you can, and don't sit there and think that you're the worst person in the world. There's always somebody worse. But when you know something is right, don't let somebody tell you to try something. I know that my husband used to be content with life and happy, but as he got into the drugs, his drugs were medication, but I call them all drugs. It brought him down a lot. It was very hard for him. And I thought the doctor was helping him. And all the doctor was doing was killing him. And I say it, this is my belief. It's how I feel. I can see medicine on a short term, but not a long term. When the doctor put me on blood pressure, he didn't tell me caffeine caused the heart to race, which I didn't know because coffee wasn't a big thing for me until my husband got sick. Then I was living off 20 cups a day. You know? That's a lot of coffee, yes, I agree. Which gave my body a trigger happy. So I have to be careful having coffee, that it's a non-caffeine one, which I finally found, which is really, really nice. And I enjoy it. No caffeine. So I can drink it. And it was difficult. So I know drugs change people. And when I say drugs, I always say legal and illegal, because a lot of people take drugs. The government says marijuana is all right. I know marijuana causes depression when you come off of it, so it's addictive. People don't know it. I do. Like I said, I tried it. And I had my eyes wide open and I've never looked back. So, in that aspect, if you're taking marijuana or you're on medications and you seem sad all the time, I can understand that. I've got one son that's always, I said, what's your problem? He has to find something to be upset about, you know? So when he gets like that, I said, look, do you have a roof over your head? He said, yes. I said, do you have clothes on your body? Yes. Do you have food in your stomach and you're not hungry? He said, yes. Then what do you have to complain about? There's a lot of people who don't have a home, a lot of people who go hungry. And you got your health. And I said, you got your health. You could have been paralyzed. You could have polio. You could have been deformed. You had all these things that could go wrong for you. Take a look and count your blessings. Then you have no reason to be sad. You see? So listen. Part 2 will be whenever it rises, because my kitchen is. Oh, United Kingdom, hi. Oh. Well, that's not going to be good. You're going to be on it forever. Blood pressure. Did he say your arteries were clogged? I'm going to wait for you to answer me. Lavdon de Barlow, 826, please answer me. Are your arteries a high cholesterol? Yes, okay. Would you like to clear your arteries up? Answer me, yes or no, and I'll tell you exactly how to do it. I'm waiting for you. Let's see, good morning. Okay, get a pencil and paper or pen and paper, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to get. We'll give him a few minutes to get his stuff together so he can write all this down. All right, so if your arteries are clogged, we're going to clear your arteries up. Of course, everything else is going to get a lot of help too. Let me know when you're back. I'm waiting for you. Now this recipe I have given to 2 people, and it comes from a nutritionist, okay? And it's worked. It really has. I'm waiting for you, 826. Come back. Let me know when you're back so we can write this down. What is blinking outside? I guess a truck is coming. Okay, I see it. It's a big truck. Okay, I want you to go and buy granular lecithin. I'll get the container so you can read it. Sometimes they say lecithin granulars, but this is what you want. All right. They might try to sell you the liquid one. Don't get the liquid one because it's really tacky. Okay. Now what you're going to do is I want you also to buy a B complex 50. You have to do that. Now what you're going to do, Tony blew mine. All right. You're going to take a glass of milk. If you can't have milk, he put it in orange juice. I don't know how it tastes in orange juice, okay? I have to be honest with you. I don't know, but he put it in orange juice, but I use it in milk. What you're going to do is put I'd say 1/4 of a cup, and I know it's going to be a lot right now, but don't worry, 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 cup of granular lecithin, okay? And then what you're going to do, when you take this in the morning, a glass of milk or orange juice with you decide if you can deal with a half a cup or a fourth of a cup, whichever one you want. I want you to take the one B complex with this in the morning. At night, I want you to do the same thing. You take that B complex and you take a glass of milk with your granular lecithin. All right. Now, there's a few side effects you're going to have, Tony told me. Number one, your urine is going to turn extremely yellow. Do not panic. All right. That's the B vitamins that are working and starting to regrow into your intestines to start feeding your body and all. Another thing is you better carry extra socks around because you are going to sweat like you have never done. Hold on. You're going to sweat like no tomorrow. So you're going to notice you might need to change your underwear, your t-shirts. You're going to smell this, and it's going to be oily. When you urinate, you're going to see oil floating all on the toilet. You know, you'll see it in the water. That's your body getting rid of it. All right. Now, when you have the urge to go move your bowels, the body's throwing oil out, so it's going to grease your bowels like crazy. So it's going to come out in a hurry. So if you have to go to the bathroom, don't say, I'll be there. I can hold it for 5 minutes. Go to the bathroom. Do not waste time. All right. So that's what you're going to do. Now, at the end of 6 months, if your doctor's not going to do this, you go and get your bloods drawn and find out where your cholesterol is. All right. Now, once you get your cholesterol in a normal level, every day you're going to have to take 1 tablespoon of lecithin and a B complex in the morning for the rest of your life. It's just like taking medicine, except this is natural. And remember, your liver, if your liver was functioning, it makes a tablespoon of this by itself. But it seems that something's going wrong, so we're going to help your liver. So after you get your cholesterol level, understand you can take a small glass of milk then with 1 tablespoon of lecithin and a B complex. If you ever go to the doctor and he says your cholesterol's climbing again, increase your lecithin, bring it back down. But you're going to be controlling it for the rest of your life. But at least that'll clean your arteries up. Because Tony, our friend, could not walk 12 steps up to the 2nd deck. He almost passed out. He had already gotten his headstone. He already found a plot he was going to be buried, and the doctor said he'd be dead in less than 6 months. 6 months later, he was running up and down the stairs. I was coming out of the room, heading to the bathroom. He ran up the stairs so fast, grabbed me and spun me around. He said, "You gave me my life back." I started crying. I was so happy. Another thing you'll notice as you're on it, your belly is going to thin down because your liver was swollen. It wasn't working. Now, the B vitamins and the lecithin are going to also repair your liver if it's having a problem. Okay? So you do that. And please let me know in 6 months how you're feeling. That actually came from some information that I got from the ARE and from Adele Davis. So it didn't come from me, it came from her. So when I make gravies, you see me pour my lecithin in it because I know there's fat there. So I want to protect my sons and myself. So I pour that lecithin in and it dissolves in heat. So you just give it 5 minutes stirring it, and you'll notice when you pour the lecithin in, the granulars just dissipate. It breaks it down to where your body can use it and get rid of it. Listen, I just want you to feel better. I do the best I can. I do not know. I only know this way of doing and bringing the cholesterol down. I do know that the body, if it's completely healthy, now I'm 72, I'm only talking from experiences now, and I've been dead 3 times, and I've had massive surgery. All right, you might not believe it, but all of this is very, very true. The thing is that my cholesterol is in check. Though I can't pick up 40 pounds anymore. I can only pick up 39 anyway. I guess age is slowly going to bring those numbers down, which I'm not going to be happy about. But the thing is that if you eat healthy, and I've been showing you how to do this with 2,900 plus videos over the last 2 years, because I started in 1970, so I've only been doing 2 years. As you do this, the body can repair itself. But always remember, drugs, legal and illegal, chemicals they use as preservatives in our food that are canned and stuff, and you don't do it yourself, they're going to affect you. If you cannot sit on the toilet and empty your colon and your bladder in less than a minute, you're backed up and you've got toxins in there, because the body will reabsorb. It pushes the waste out. But if you can't get it out, the body in time withdraws those fluids out of them, and then they become hard. So then you end up with the toxicity back into your bloodstream. This will cause a lot of aging and stuff on you as well. What's causing your high blood pressure? Valentino or Ortiz N9HV. Blood pressure is caused by many things, all right? A lot of salt will do it. That's why I use kelp the way I do. You got to get yourself together. As I tell my sons, pull yourself together, man. Emotions. You've got to look to the brighter side of life. I look at it this way. I'm not going to live forever, all right? I already know this. I know someday I'm going to die. Well, the body's going to die because I believe in the spiritual world. The body will die, but I'll still be very much alive. But till that point, I know God loves me, and I love him back. And that what happens to me is because of what I've done to somebody in the past in another life, because I believe in reincarnation. So it's payback. So what I do is I hate that light doing that. It's blinking. It's my light up there. One of the bulbs is giving me a problem. I always I can deal with life because I know he loves me. I can deal with life because I know there's more than this body. I know that I will not be put into the ground. I know my body will go back to Mother Earth, but I know me, which I can call the soul, which is the one talking. You see a body, but I am a life force inside of this body. I know that life force goes back to where it came from, so I know I'll always be alive. It's just that this body will die someday, and I take that knowledge on a good frame of mind. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to damage it or anything else. That's how I keep a positive, knowing that he loves me and I love him. That's why I don't preach to me. I know my Father. Diabetes, I cannot. All right, if you have diabetes, you're going to have high blood pressure. Now, I can tell you what causes high blood pressure. Salt. That's why I use kelp. Power drinks, sodas, coffee, tea, alcohol. I know you guys don't want to hear it because you like having your drinks, all right? Those things cause high blood pressure because why? They've got caffeine in it. The sugar and too much sugar in the liquor will give you a problem. But all of those things I mentioned are high in caffeine. Caffeine causes the heart to pump harder and the vessels to pop and squeeze and squeeze. So you got all this tension constantly. And then one day, so they give you medicine trying to calm it down. And you probably drink a lot of coffee automatically, or power drinks or sodas, and this is why you have it. When you come off all of those things, I mean literally wipe them out, even chocolate. Chocolate is very high in caffeine as well. So I'm very careful. If I use chocolate, you'll see me once in a great moon have something with chocolate. These all they have a high caffeine, which causes high blood pressure. When you come off all of that, will notice that your blood pressure starts to drop. But if you have diabetes, you'd have to cut out your caffeine. And high blood pressure will give you kidney problems because it puts you have very fine capillaries in those kidneys. And with that high pressure pushing through, it's damaging those kidneys. So try to find, now if you want a coffee that doesn't have any caffeine in it, if you're a coffee drinker, and they also have teas you can use that are caffeine free, look up TEECCINO. I just found it, and they say that there's no caffeine and no, what else does it not have in it? Can't even remember. I'm always looking for the caffeine. Let me see. It's coffee free, acid free, caffeine free, and prebiotic. Okay, and I got the French roast, and here it is. See, TEECCINO. It's a little on the expensive side, but if you're concerned about your health, yeah, the chocolate does it. Diet soda is the same thing. They're all high in caffeine. So is coffee and sodas. So if you have high blood pressure and you're taking a lot of that, even the ARE gave a reading for a man who worked for the Coca-Cola company. He was telling him he should not have sodas because he liked to have soda every day. And because he worked for the company, he drank a lot of Coke. And Casey said he had to lower his blood pressure. All right. And they say salt. Stay away from your salt. But the thing is, salt has iodine. But if you're having the sodas and the chocolates and all this other stuff, the salt you put in is just and added to it. So always remember, anything that has caffeine in it is going to trigger your blood pressure up. But as I was telling the guy about it, when you sit there and come off of that, you're going to notice one day your blood pressure is going to drop. Mine dropped to 40/60. So those are very low numbers near death. And I called my doctor. I was only on it for a little while. I just decided I didn't want any coffee that day. And it went boom, right down. But yet I was over 200. 200 was the low number. So you can imagine where the top number was, which was higher. I just came off coffee and tea and stuff. I just didn't want it one day. And my blood pressure just plunged. He told me to come off the medication. He said, I think you're allergic to caffeine. So I checked out caffeine and what was in caffeine. So I don't make a lot of chocolates, but I do love chocolate brownies. And I do love a good German chocolate cake. So when I have that, I have to be very careful. I have it very rarely, far few and in between, to make sure I keep my health up. So I hope a lot of this information, so high blood sugar, they say for the high blood sugar, they're saying there's a parasite that eats the sugar as fast as the cells produce it. So the cells keep on producing it. And it's interfering with the body. Now, I had read somewhere, I can't remember. I read it on Facebook or Instagram. There's a book that states that if you mix these natural herbs. Now, I know in the past, women mixed things and made medicine out of it, out of her kitchen. So this would have to be old remedies that work. So if you've got diabetes, look, I tried everything in the world to stop it. I followed the diets. His bones broke down. I don't know. The only hope I would have now is because it will lead to heart problems if you have diabetes as well. Diabetes is what it is the body cannot break the sugar down, and it sits in the blood. And if you have somebody and in the morning and during the day you smell sweetness off their breath, they're pre-diabetic or a diabetic because you can smell the sugar on their breath. I would look into that. It's a book that you buy with natural remedies for home. If that works, by all means, I would recommend using it. If you have it, I'm going to tell you what the doctors told me, and you don't want to hear it, and I'm sorry to say this. It hurts me because I went through this, so I know what you're talking about. You have 15 years. At the end of 15 years, you're going to start getting sicker. You'll have more complications coming up. Now, diabetes can lead to blindness, your bones deteriorating, which would be hip surgeries, circulation will get poor, and they cut off your fingers, your toes, or whatever they is going gangrene, and you go into kidney failure. Like I said, it's a very bad disease. So please look into home remedies. It comes across Facebook, it comes across Instagram, and they say you buy this book. Oh, I caught one of my hairs and it's pulling on my head. They state in it that I think I have heard that one of the ingredients is cinnamon and stuff. You have to make it yourself. I think it'd be better if you made it yourself if you could, rather than buying the pill, because they're only going to give you this much to make sure that you have to take it all the time, whereas you make it at home, you're going to get the full dosage and you'll feel better and you have more control over your life. The whole thing is to have control over your life and not have somebody have control over your health. I should say health instead of anything else, because it is in your ballpark. Check it out and let me know if it works. I haven't gotten the book yet. It's come up. It's on sale now, 75% off. I think today is the last day. But I know they have sales up to January 3rd, the 12 days of Christmas. So you can still get it. Might take longer for them to get it to you. But do let me know if it does work. I do plan to buy the book, but I'm broke. Man, I've got $38. That's it. I am broke. I went Christmas shopping and I had fun. Okay? So listen. You are very, very welcome, but do let me know how you feel. I mean, if you want more information on nutrition, I recommend the ARE. I would recommend Adele Davis. You can research and look. Now, if you say, where did they get this? Researchers learned about these vitamins. No, they didn't. The researchers were doctors, and they noticed their patients weren't getting well, so they wanted to research what was going wrong and why things were the way they were. Now, these were doctors before today, where they separate them from researchers and doctors. These were doctors. If you go into the research, you'll see doctor this, doctor that. That's because they were all doctors, and they just wanted their patients to get better, and they couldn't understand why the medicine wasn't working, so they started finding out about nutrients and stuff. And some were missing this and some were this and that, and they were putting it together. And it puts a big picture together that if we don't eat well, our health is going down the drain. Okay? Listen, I really have to go. The way we keep talking, is that risen already? No. Oh, thank God. I got dishes to do again. So listen, I want all of you to take care. You'll see me in the second part when we're doing the rolls, okay? No. You're asking questions. You have a right to ask questions. You know why? You go to the doctor, he'll give you a medication, and he'll say, oh, you got high cholesterol. Here, I'm going to give you a medicine. He doesn't explain it. And don't look to him for nutrition, because doctors don't know. They're only taught about dishing medication out and pretty much that. Now, if you go to a dietitian, all she can do is lay out diets. And that's all she's going to do is lay out a diet. She doesn't know. She gets her information from the nutritionist. The nutritionist study the research of what the doctors did about nutrients and stuff. And she takes that and she lays out meals and stuff. And that's how it's done. So a doctor doesn't know any more than you. A dietitian is only going to sit there and lay out menus that a nutritionist gave her. And the nutritionist gets it from the research. So if you can get into the research, you would really see what's really going on. But if you got a PDR, you'd definitely be frightened. No, because they're ignorant of it. They don't. And like I tell my doctor, if I can't buy it over the counter, is it poison? He won't answer the question. He never does. And he doesn't like it. And we argue. I see him when I feel like seeing him. And he said, I'm going to see you in 3 months, and you're going to take this medicine, and I'm sending your script over to the pharmacy. I went home and said, what am I taking? What did I add new to my diet to give me a problem? That's when I found that mushroom coffee actually is sprayed with coffee. And that's why it still had high caffeine. That's why I couldn't take it. So, yeah, sure, it's the dollars. So I argue with mine, but listen, I want all of you to, tomorrow's Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to be on I should be on tomorrow too, if you have time, but I know most of you will be traveling. I wish you the very best and safe. Of course they do. My husband needed a heart medication. It was $1,007.04. I spent every penny trying to save his life. Every penny. I put us in the poorhouse trying to save his life. So listen, for you, be safe, care for yourself properly, okay? Okay, listen, take care. I really got a mess in my kitchen. And like I said, we're just having bacon and eggs and muffins today. I am making a simple meal because I'm getting ready for Christmas. But if I don't see you tomorrow, if I don't, just remember, because it is the holiday, I want you to have a Merry Christmas. Have a safe Merry Christmas and a very, very happy one. Okay? So bye-bye.